Thank you for agreeing to hear me. And I hope we have time for both. This one? Perfect. Okay. I've decided to read my statement because that's my best shot at not crying, I think. I'm a new teacher. I've been in this profession for 5 years. And for years, I had difficulty answering the question, why do you want to be a teacher? And in retrospect, I understand that this is because a teacher is not something I was to become. It's something I've always been. However, a good teacher is something I have become. I've worked to ensure that I'm a good teacher because I love learning, and I love teaching my young students to love learning. Because there's nothing better in the world than the excitement in the face of a little person who has just achieved something that they didn't believe they could. And because I wholly believe in good, quality public education. This government and its initiatives, which consistently fly in the face of good research and best practice, and which consistently are introduced without proper teacher consultation or training, are killing my internal teacherness, and I'm not alone. There are hundreds of other good young teachers in this province being crushed by this government, who eventually will be forced to leave the only profession in which they've ever imagined themselves, because they will no longer be able to act as part of the machine. That seems designed to standardize while touting differentiation, that prioritizes buying toys to teach primary students coding while denying them the basic resources needed to learn, such as good quality literature for every classroom and human supports for struggling learners, that actually directs me that if the children for whom I'm responsible don't understand addition and subtraction after 4 weeks, well, I need to leave them behind. And that self-congratulates for capping classes while ignoring that any given classroom has children developing from the level of a 6-month-old baby to well beyond grade level. Over the past 5 years, I have watched public education slide backwards into a business model with very little teacher autonomy, to the point that it is hardly recognizable to me. I, and the thousands of teachers like me, have stayed in my classroom late into the evening creating resources I need because they're not provided to me, have cried after explaining to a mother why her child isn't getting what he desperately needs, and have worked endlessly to make up for what is lacking in our schools, because it's who we are. However, because this government is intent on forcing me to continually do more with less, something has to give. You have heard, and will continue to hear, a lot regarding the legality and unconstitutional nature of this legislation and about Supreme Court rulings set the precedent for a court challenge which will prove more costly for the taxpayers of this province than good faith bargaining would have. I will leave that for those who are more knowledgeable on the matter. I'm here to tell you about the teacher casualties that are a matter of certainty as a result of this legislation. This legislation puts into law the disrespect towards teachers that will be the legacy of this government. It will ensure that teachers like me, who have been coping and coping and coping some more, will stop. We will work to the letter of the contract you impose upon us, not because of any directive from the NSTU leadership or an effort to put pressure on the employer, but because we can't spread ourselves any thinner. We will work to the letter of this legislation because you have demoralized this workforce to the point that we no longer have it in us to go above and beyond for the students who we desperately want to be successful. We will do the bare minimum, because if we continue to do what we've always done, we will not make it for 30 years in this profession, watching helplessly as you corrupt it. You see, for all the rhetoric about the costs in education, you've beaten into the ground the professionals who can give it any value. I implore you to throw out this piece of unconstitutional, unethical law If not because you want to avoid a certain charter challenge, throw it out to prove that you care about anything but strong-arming the unions. Throw it out because it will be catastrophic to the future of public education in this province.
Thank you.